So Linda is set to an expedition to climb a 14,000 height mountain. She took all the training and everything. And the day arrives when she has to start the expedition. But what happens is that she is left alone in the parking area to wait for her climbing partner. And the climbing partner reached late, unprepared, frightened, and not ready to come along with her for the expedition. Linda set for the expedition by herself. Though she was trained, she faced many challenges. The friends have already ahead of her, and in between, the trail branched out, not knowing which direction to go. Finally, she could reach summit and reach home safely. So, from this experience of Linda, we see that she made choices moment by moment. Okay. Linda's partner arrived late, unprepared and frightened. Her friends left her in the parking lot, and the trail branched unexpectedly, none of which she could change. She could only choose her responses. So, if she would have been in the victim mode, she would have blamed her partner, judged her friends, and pitied herself. Instead, Linda is grateful for the lessons she learned. Now, people who don't understand the magnitude of their creative power and who do not use it consciously see themselves as victims. They pray for luck and blame others when it does not come, bargain with the universe, and see others as the source of their pain and joy. Their attention is directed outward and finding faults. On the contrary, a creator experiments with his life. He or she is like a sailor on the open sea using wind, current, and stars to guide them. Then the author says the difference between the unconscious choice, conscious choice, and responsible choice. So, an unconscious choice, as we have understood in 2 weeks back, that it is a reaction. It is automatic anger, jealousy, vengefulness, or fear, in which our frightened part of our personality does what it is accustomed to do. And we can expect uh, the familiar pattern. While in the conscious choice, it is a response. A response is different from a reaction because when you respond, you detach from your upset and then choose what you will do. In other words, you feel a painful emotion and at the same time choose your action. So, when you choose a response, that will create consequences for which you are willing to assume responsibility, you make a responsible choice. I'll repeat again to understand the subtle difference between the conscious choice and the responsible choice. So, author says when you choose a response, that will create a consequences for which you are willing to assume responsibility, you make a responsible choice. He further says spiritual growth requires understanding the extent to which you are responsible for what you create. Then he says responsibility is not a burden you must carry, but a doorway to your freedom. Responsible choice is the healing dynamic that removes the power of your fear from over you. He says your life can become meaningful. How? When you assume responsibility for your experiences, your life becomes meaningful and you become capable of relationships of substance and depth. Then author gives an exercise uh, to do. That is an affirmation. He says, with complete commitment, you should affirm, I am responsible for the choices I make and the consequences they create. He wants us to repeat these sentences with full commitment. I am responsible for the choices I make and the consequences they create. So Linda chose trust and learned that she can always find her way home despite all the challenges. So responsibility and meaning go hand in hand. That is what author describes in this chapter, responsible choice. Anyone wants to share their experiences or input on responsible choice? Yeah, feel free to express.
Yeah, thank you, Rashmi ji. This is Swarna. Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful topic and beautiful meditation. Yeah, when we feel responsible, then whatever decisions we make, even if it is we think it's good decision, that may end up in a hurtful results. So when we are prepared, yes, this is the right decision I'm making, and whatever outcome is, I'm ready to face. Then we take the responsibility, and when we do that, we don't react, and we work towards it, and we've owned the result. So that way we can grow positively. And if we think that I made positive decisions and the result is not as expected, and if we are not prepared or we don't take responsibility, then we blame others that I did right, and whatever happened is not fair. And so we don't take responsibility. As a result, we end up in non-positive thinking. So yeah, beautiful story analogy as well. So yeah, we just have to be ready for whatever it is. And when we are prepared, when we have self-talk, when we have vision where we are going, then it's easy to make bold, brave, courageous step. Thank you so much for the very beautiful, deep message. Thank you, Rashmiji.
Thank you for your input. Thank you so much. Anyone else wants to share?
Yes, Rashmiji. So, very beautiful to meditate together in a group. And I see you're sharing your screen. You want to share something before I go ahead?
Yeah. Just to put a little summary of what we talked about, the responsible choice, the difference between the conscious choice, unconscious choice, and the freedom. Yeah. Just
Beautiful. So, this book is so nice, the wisdom that you share every week. So, today we are talking about a choice and responsible choice. So, responsibility is nothing but the ability to respond, and the ability is naturally there with all of us by default. Yet that is only experienced and used rightly when we are living with or spending time, a lot of time, with no thoughts at all. Because that is where our true strength of the soul is there, who we truly are. So the more we stay with our minds empty, the more we connect to this soul's ability to respond. And that leads us to a conscious choice. So I was reading a book about the way to the peaceful warrior. And in that book, the master guides a person and he says, the whole problem is with your mind. And the student asks, what do you mean by such a statement you have given? Which means, do you mean that I don't need mind? And he says, yes. And he says, human mind is an error of creation. And he says, we do not need human mind. We do not need mind at all. So the more we stay off from the thoughts, unconscious thoughts, any thoughts, the more we experience our own self. And that is where the ability of responding, that is where the ability of choosing consciously naturally happens. So thanks a lot, Rashmi.
Thank you, Ramji, for your icing on a cake. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, as you said, yeah. It's a treasure inside within all of us, and we have to just decipher to bring that treasure out through meditation. Exactly. Anyone else wants to share? Please come forward. If no more sharing, shall we end, Ramji, the session?
Yes, please.
Thank you all for joining. Have a miraculous day, and we shall meet in the evening for next wisdom session. Thank you all.